This lesson is on interval notation. Interval notation is a special way we write the answers to inequalities. Shading on the number line and putting the open and closed circles will help you in determining what the interval notation will look like. Now, the interval notation is going to contain infinity symbols, brackets, and parentheses. Now, just like in the past, when you use closed circles, instead of closed circles, we're now going to use brackets. So the closed circle and the brackets represent the equal to part of the symbol. Think of it this way. The line underneath means equal to. The brackets have lines. A bracket is made up of 3 lines, so it's the equal to. Of course, our parentheses is going to have the open circle. And it's used for just the regular less than and greater than symbol. Now, the infinity symbols are based on which way you shade and which way it's pointing, whether it's to the left or to the right. If you shade it to the left, you're going to have a negative infinity symbol. If you shade it to the right, you're going to have a positive infinity symbol. Now, I'm going to do some examples in just a few minutes to show you that, but here's another little kind of a table to help you see. Here are the inequalities. Here is the shaded part. And then here is your answer in interval notation. Now notice on the open circle, let me see if I can highlight that. The open circle and the greater than symbol and the parentheses all go together. The greater than or equal to goes with the closed circle, which means it goes with the bracket. Less than symbol goes with the circle, which goes with the parentheses. Less than or equal to goes with the closed circle, goes with the bracket. Now, let's do some examples. All right, let's say I had x is less than -7. Draw your number line, put a -7. Now, I think it's a good idea if you will label the arrows. On the left, put a negative infinity symbol, and on the right, put a positive infinity symbol. Now, since we're less than, we're going to shade to the left. Now, the old way of doing this was to draw a circle, and it'd be an open circle. But now, instead of an open circle, we're actually going to put a parentheses. Now, the shaded part, once you get it shaded, you just bring down the shaded piece. Bring down this negative infinity. Put a comma. Bring down this -7. Now, notice I've got a parentheses drawn on the number line. Put a parentheses next to the -7. Put a parentheses next to the negative infinity. The infinity symbols will always have a parentheses. You can never have a negative, you can never have a bracket next to an infinity symbol. Let's look at, let's say I have x is greater than or equal to 5. Draw my number line, put my 5. I'm going to put my infinity symbols, and we're going to shade. So we're greater than, which means we shade to the right. Now this time, we would put a closed circle because it's got the equal to part. But now, the equal to part in interval notation is represented with a bracket. Now, as far as putting it in the interval notation, so start where it shades, bring down that number, bring down the infinity symbol. Now, we put a bracket on the 5, and we put a parentheses on the infinity symbol. So this would be the interval notation for this one. This is the interval notation with a greater than or equal to 5. Let's say I have x is less than or equal to 0. Well, draw my number line, mark off my 0. Now, label the infinity symbols. Now this time we're less than or equal to 0, so less than goes to the left. Since it's less than or equal to, this is one that would have the closed circle. But now remember, the closed circle is represented by a bracket. Alright, so bring down the negative infinity symbol, bring down the 0, negative infinity has a parentheses, 0 has a bracket. Alright, let's say I had x was greater than negative 3. Draw my number line, mark off negative 3. Label the infinity symbols, negative infinity, positive infinity. Greater than shades to the right. So we're going to shade to the right. Now this is just a greater than symbol, so this would have the open circle. But now our open circles are represented by parentheses. So putting it in interval notation, the shading starts here, so bring down the negative 3, bring down the infinity symbol. Now infinity's got the parentheses. This time the negative 3 has the parentheses because it doesn't have the equal to part. So this is the answer for this one. Let's do a couple more. Let's say I have x is greater than, oh, I don't know, 30. Why not? So we'll mark off the 30. And notice I'm not putting 0 in the middle. You don't have to do that. Now, with the negative infinity symbols and the positive infinity symbol, and let's shade. Okay, so we're greater than, we go this direction. Again, this one will have an open circle, but we represent open circles now with parentheses. So, bring down the 30, bring down the infinity symbol, put a comma between them, parentheses on the infinity, parentheses on the 30. Oops. Let's do, I don't know, let's do x is less than negative 6. Draw my negative 6. Put the negative infinity symbol, positive infinity symbol, and shade. This one is going less than, so it's going to the left, so we're going to shade to the left. Now this one doesn't have the line underneath, so it's in an open circle. But again, open circles are parentheses. Okay, now we can write the interval notation. Bring down the negative infinity, bring down the negative 6. There's a parentheses on the negative 6 and a parentheses on the negative infinity. Alright, I'll do one more. Let's do a greater than or equal to. X is greater than or equal to negative 7. Oh, let's do negative 35. Why not? So put the negative 35. Label your infinity symbols. Now, greater than or equal to, shades to the right. Now it's got the line underneath, so this would be that closed circle. But now the closed circle is represented by the bracket. Now, let's write it in the interval notation. So bring down the negative 35. Bring down the infinity symbol. Now, infinity always has a parentheses. But the negative 35 is going to have the bracket. Not sure why that's in green. Okay, negative 35. So, this is the answer in interval notation. So, the easiest way to do this, I think, is to shade it. Put the bracket or the parentheses on the number line and just bring those pieces down and put the parentheses and the brackets around it. So you're only looking at the shaded region. Notice the negative infinities are always on the left, positive infinities are always on the right.